Alright there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Another video on Old Red, our Project 1983 Peterbilt 359. Now in today's video I'm going to fix an ongoing issue with this truck, which is that the heater doesn't work. Last year it did blow something that resembled lukewarm air out of the heater, and now that it's getting cold out again, it's not even doing that. And then in the second half of this video, the wife's going to come out here to the shop and she's going to help me install an air horn on this truck that she got me for Christmas. Now I've already gone through and I've diagnosed this heater issue, and it comes down to this heater control valve here. If you look inside, this is in the open position now. It was stuck in the closed position, but when you turn this lever that's actuated by the cable inside the truck, you can see that the valve's not actually turning anymore. So I've got a new heater valve to replace this. Pretty much all the heater hose in this truck's pretty well shot. It's old, it's swollen up, it's no good anymore. So we're gonna go through and I've got 100 feet of new heater hose, and we're gonna go through and replace all the heater hose in the truck. Okay, now this truck's got two separate feed and return systems here for basically heater hose. This one here feeds the tank heaters, and this one up here is feeding the interior heaters. Now, I'm not sure if this is how this was set up before, or if when they added the tank heater, if they set it up this way. But this one here feeds down through here and goes to the heater control valve, then runs through the cab heater, and then runs back to the sleeper heater back here. And then the return line from that comes back and feeds into these ports here. Now, I suppose the first thing we really probably need to do is go ahead and get the new heater control valve put in, and then we can start pulling and rerunning lines here. But the heater control valve pokes through this hole here and connects to the heater core here. Now, this new heater valve came from Dirk's, otherwise known as Dan's Shop Inc. Not in any way affiliated with them, but they are really great for stuff that would be hard to find for these trucks. They kind of specialize in these older Peterbilts and stuff, and man, seems like they got everything imaginable for these trucks. So there's our new heater valve. Here's our new valve compared to our old one, and it appears to be an exact match, so that's perfect. I suppose first things first here, I should probably get this little short piece of heater hose that goes to the heater core installed here. Hopefully the misery level decreases as we go along on this, because this already is not very fun. Come on, really? Will you? Okay, so this is the hose clamp I was fighting with. Here's that grommet I was putting in, and you can see that I left this hose a little bit long. I'm going to trim that to length. The heater valve pokes through right here and mounts to this bracket right here. So let's get here's the cable here that actuates the valve. But let's go ahead and get the new heater valve up in here and see exactly where I need to trim this to length. So we want this to slide all the way up on here, basically to where this lip is here. So we're gonna need to trim this, looks like right about here. Alright, so I'm an idiot in more than one way here. I spent an hour getting that control valve, a little short piece of hose, getting new grommet in the firewall, getting all that stuff buttoned up. Then I happened to notice a little drip of water come from right here. Then I was like, you know what? In between these cores is always a really bad place for getting caked up with dust, as you can see. And that don't seem right to have water come from there, even though I had hoses off and stuff. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this core out. I'm sure it needs to be cleaned anyway. And I did. And got a little split in this tube right here. See what happened? When I was diagnosing this issue, I went ahead and I back flushed all the heater cores with some water. See that I put a hose connection on the return line, and I blew a bunch of water through the heater cores to flush them out. And I had just kind of assumed that because the inlet's all the way up there, and I had this all the way down here, that gravity would have just drained all the water out. Then I went and I parked this truck outside in sub-freezing temperatures while I waited for the heater hose and valve and all the parts to come in. And this must have froze and cracked this tube right here. Now luckily that is repairable. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to strip these fins back around this tube and solder up that crack. And that's going to be just fine. It's not really going to hurt the performance of this at all. I would just go ahead and replace it while it's out. But if I did that, I'd have to order it. I mean, no one's going to have this in stock. So I'd have to order this. It would be a week before it got here. And honestly, I just want to get this done. So we're going to clean up this core. We're going to strip the fins back around where this tube is cracked here. We're going to solder that up. And then we're going to put this all back together. Okay, so there's our repaired heater core. It's kind of hard to make these kind of repairs pretty, but they are extremely functional. And I just glued a piece of gasket material onto the bottom there I didn't have any foam rubber like what was on there, and kind of destroyed that in the process. So glued a piece of gasket material on there. That should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and get this reinstalled. Okay, so I suppose before I get too far ahead of myself, I should probably get this rear heater core taken out and checked, considering the issues I had up front there. Nothing else, this should be cleaned out anyway, so not that big of a deal. Whew, look at all that dust. Alright, so I got this guy pulled out and pressure tested, and it's good. We don't have any broken tubes on this one, but definitely glad I pulled it out because that needs one heck of a cleaning. On this bucket here, I've got some diluted acid. I'm just gonna drop that in there. We got some clean rinse water in this bucket, so go ahead. Okay, now with the heater core situation all squared away and that all put back together, it's time to get started on what I intended to start on about 3 hours ago. So here's the first hose that we're going to replace here. You can see it comes from here, goes to the new valve that we just installed there. Fairly short run of hose here. It's all zip tied in with this harness and stuff. And we got some questionable connectors and whatnot in here too, so we're gonna fix that stuff while we're in there. We're gonna need to cut all these zip ties and cut a piece of hose to length and start putting that in. A lot of it's just gonna be pull one out, put a new one in. So I'm probably gonna time lapse a lot of this. I think it should be fairly self-explanatory here. Okay, so I'm getting close to being done installing my new hoses here. Getting everything routed. Figured I'd show you guys this. So, for one thing, this P-clamp's broken, so it's no good anyway. But you see how it's loose here? And this hose can move around in here. You got the same problem here. You know, this P-clamp's a little too big for these hoses and it can move. Well, what's going to happen, in no time flat, if you let these hoses sit there and do this, going down the road where they're moving around in there, it's going to sit there and it's going to saw a hole right into that hose in a real quick hurry. A lot of people that aren't used to being around trucks and working on trucks, you know, really underestimate the amount of things move around and vibrate going down the road. So if you don't have this secured tight, yeah, it's going to take no time at all. You're going to be in the breakdown lane with 15 gallons of coolant on the side of the road. So that's no bueno. We gotta take care of that. Okay, now you can see now, you can grab this, you can shake it to your heart's content, and nothing can rub anywhere. That's what you want, all the way down the entire length of all of your runs. You can see like this hose that I showed earlier, this is all zip tied and tidied up and nothing can move, nothing can rub. All right, so that is all the heater hose run. We got heater hose goes to the front heater, to the sleeper heater. New heater hose that goes to the fuel tank heaters. Here's my pile of old hoses and scraps that I pulled out of the truck. Ended up going through roughly 60 feet of hose, which is quite a bit of hose. I bought 100 feet. Actually 60 is right at what my estimate was. I measured the distance from the return back to the back of the sleeper, times that by 4, add about 10% for waste, and I come up with around 60 feet. I went ahead and I bought 100 feet because heater hose is one of those things I always use it up. I've never bought heater hose in no matter what quantity and not run out of it. So I've got about 40 feet left over, which is great. Definitely a very useful thing to have around the shop. I need to go ahead and get this mess picked up and thrown away. And then I'm going to open the valves back up on the truck. Actually, I might as well even do that here now. Go ahead and open all these shut-off valves back up. find out how many leaks I got everywhere. And we're pull it outside, let it warm up. Hopefully we've got good heat out of the vents. And then after that, the wife's gonna come by. We're gonna get the air horn put on. I did already while I was fastening hoses and stuff. I went ahead and I got the air line for our air horn run. So when she gets here, we're gonna go ahead and we'll get that put on. And oh wow, it is warm in here. See, this just been sitting out here idling for a little while, and God, it's gotta be 80 degrees in here. Let's see, coolant temps about, what would that be, about 180? So yeah, I'd say that heater is working. Holy cow, I'm actually gonna turn that off. All right, let's go ahead and pull this back inside. Yeah, we don't have anything leaking anywhere, so that's good. We're gonna put this down here. I'll let you pick how we put it. You want it up and down like that? You
Oh
want
my
it
God, I think
facing
it's
out,
better that way.
facing
I just
out
think
like that?
something's gonna like.
Well, we're gonna tuck it up in here. See, it's gonna be high enough that you would smash this box before you hit this horn. So we're gonna tuck it up in there, but
I thought you put it like up there.
no, I'm not putting horns on the roof.
Oh my God.
Besides, this style of horn would look stupid up on the roof.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can either mount it straight up and down like that, like a 45 like that, or straight out like that. What do you like the best? Like this?
Like
this,
that, the other way. Yeah.
this, straight out?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're gonna mount it straight out, I would put that about there. That mounts on there like that.
Do you need this thing?
First you need this. So we're just gonna center punch where we gotta drill the hole. You wanna drill
I
the
want
holes?
to do it.
Okay.
Just drill.
Mm-hmm. So where those two indentions are there?
Like that?
Yep. Just try to get the drill square to the box there, and then you push in and pull the trigger.
Like that?
Yep. I think you're almost there.
You can do the other one.
Okay.
Really? You already got the other one in?
Mm-hmm.
And it took me like 5 minutes. How did you do that in like 2 seconds?
Press harder.
You didn't tell me to do that.
I told you to press in. Now, if that was steel, it probably would have taken me just as long as it took you to drill through that. You want to tighten the bolts up?
Right.
Start on top and I'll hold the backside and just put that on there.
Violence.
Bottom one. Perfect. Open this up. And then when I run it through, I just ran longer than what I needed. So then once it's in place, you trim it to length.
It's quicker.
Let me make sure the truck's got enough air in it.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna tape my phone to the inside of the window.
Oh.
And then throw it. Now you can jump up in the driver's seat and
Really? It's
Yep.
all hooked up?
it's all done. The pull cord hanging from the ceiling there? No, you had it right to start with. Yeah, right there. Give it two long ones like a train. So you gonna do the outro?
No.
Come
I'm
on.
I cannot. Nope. I don't want it. You can't make me.
Alright. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you. Have a great day.